Hey, Pisces. Welcome to your mid-September reading. I'm excited to read for you. So when I sat down to do your cards, the first thing that Spirit jumped in with was they were showing me a costume change, showing me somebody running off stage, changing their costume, re-emerging. So you're going through a little reset. You are about to go behind the curtain, do a little something, and pop out and surprise some people. I'm curious how many of you are aware of what that is. Always feel free to share. I am always curious. But I want to share that even if that isn't something that you've had in mind or something that you're like, oh, I know exactly what that is, that Spirit is letting you know you're allowed to change your mind at any time. And you are allowed to transform yourself. It's like that's the gift of being a human that has a conscious mind and can say, yeah, I've done this for the last, 30 years of my life. But I think starting today, I'm going to do this, or I'm going to act like that, or I'm going to start speaking to myself in a whole different way. And I'm going to change my whole costume. I think I want to change my whole role. You know what I'm saying? That's what they're saying. Okay. Let's get into some cards, Pisces. I'm excited. Oh, also, I'm Madeline, if you haven't been here before. Okay, so we are going to see, Pisces, how you are showing up and where your focus is. And then we will pull cards to see what is showing up to meet you, what kind of themes or people or events, opportunities, etc. And what Spirit most wants you to be aware of for your highest good, what they want to point out as the heart of the matter in mid-September for Pisces Spirit, Pisces Sun, Pisces Moon, Pisces Rising, and Dominant People, 12th House Dominant People Spirit. What do you want to share with Pisces for their highest good, Spirit? What is the truth of how Pisces is showing up and what is showing up around them? Got an eclipse coming up in your sign, or depending on when you've seen this video, lunar eclipse in your sign on September 17th. So if you're seeing this before, prepare yourself. If you're seeing this after, it's time for a little retrospective, like has anything happened around or on that date? Of course, that date is when it's most exact, but eclipses are 6-month energies, okay? So like we're in a whole ass eclipse tunnel. So just be noticing what may be coming to culmination, or that you're realizing, I need to let this go completely. Hello, costume change. Spirit's like, it's a costume change. Eclipse season, costume change. Okay, got it. Okay. All right. Thank you, Spirit. So, Spirit, we want to know the truth. Loved ones, guardians, guides, those who watch over Pisces, all of those who carry the archetype of Pisces. What do you want to share with them for their highest good, Spirit? What is showing up for Pisces in the latter half of September? What do they need to know for their highest good? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Perfect. Pisces. Oh my God. Lip balm hair. The worst. Pisces. Pisces. Mid-September. How are they showing up? And how is the world showing up as a mirror for them, Spirit? And what do they need to know or do about it for their highest good? Ooh, looks like you're craving a little costume change, huh, Pisces? If you're like, yes, please, this is something that I've been waiting for, Spirit is letting you know this is not something that you need to wait for. This is actually something that you want to participate very actively in. So if you might have been putting yourself in a little bit of a passive position, this would be the time to check that and be like, oh, wait, yes, like I am, love to be passive, love to receive, and I have everything that it takes to do things the way that I want to do them. And sometimes the world doesn't deliver things exactly the way that I want them, so I need to go out and make it. You know what I'm talking about? And for some of you, that is, Spirit is talking specifically about like, well, nobody wrote the book that I wanted to read, so I need to write it. Or nobody danced the dance that I wanted to need to see, so I better come up with it, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's like if you're missing it, Maybe it's because it's yours. Thoughts from spirit. So you're showing up as the Four of Cups. This is where spirit is talking about like a little bit of like, hey, have you been a little bit passive? Have you been a little bit like, I'm aware of what's not working, I'm aware of what I don't want, or I'm aware of like what it is that I'm waiting for the universe to deliver, but the universe keeps delivering me some other shit. It's like, surprise. Either the shit that you think you need or that you are focused on or that you are waiting for is not actually all that it's cracked up to be, or, as they said before, it is something that you will have to go out and create. Because that's why you feel the yearning for it is like, oh, it's in me. I have what it takes to get this or achieve this or embody this or create this. Do you know what I'm talking about? Four of Cups can be a little bit of boredom and dissatisfaction and waiting around. And it is also, though, the card of hidden blessings. Of, hey, lift your head up, keep your eyes open. Pay attention to what is showing up for you rather than having your eyes kind of down like, man, I never get what I want. Meanwhile, what you want is like floating around nearby, but just out of eye line. You know what I'm saying? Current situation, the Hermit. It's time to turn down the volume on other people, other institutions, even conventional wisdom, and to tune into your own self, your own soul, your own heart. Very good, you know, things that Pisces is typically known for being able to do. It's time for you to walk your own path. Spirit is being very, like, some of you may literally be going on a retreat, but really what I feel more than anything is like, Pisces, could you like design yourself a retreat? Like, oh, I have, you know, a day off coming up, or I have a weekend, or I have a whatever coming up, and I'm going to design for myself a little bit of a deep dive into like, what's going on with me? What do I really want? If blah, blah arrived on my doorstep tomorrow, I'd be so ecstatic. Okay, well, how do I bring that a little closer day by day? How do I bring a little bit of that into my life now, even if I can't have blank dropped on my doorstep tomorrow? How can I bring some of the feeling of what would come with when that arrived? You know what I'm talking about? If you will look inward, if you will do a little bit of soul searching, and again, I'm going to say tuning out what everybody else is doing and thinking and opining, and going to your own self and your own soul, the situation arising, the thing that is developing is judgment, a feeling of, I get it. Like the sky's opening and Mufasa pushing out and going, hey, fill in the blank. remember who you are, Simba. Motherfucker, remember who you are. And if you don't remember who you are, there's never a better time than now to start looking. Your actions are who you are. If you ever get confused, the things that you do, not the things that you think, not the things that you believe, not the things that you hope, the things that you do. And so if you are realizing that there's a place where you need to do some doing, do it. Judgment, epiphany, realization, clarity, a calling, a commitment. I'm letting this go. I'm starting this up. I'm switching from this to that. And that's it. I already know it. Like the dead rising from the grave, right? That's Judgment Day. The truth coming and raising the dead back to life, leaving a zombie mode, leaving an unconscious mode, and stepping into conscious mode. That creates a lot of movement. The heart of the matter, Six of Swords, the heart of the matter is you've learned a lot and you're on your way. You're ready. You're ready. You need to look at your fears. You need to look at the things that are holding you back, because once you figure that out and pull them out of the ground and put them in your boat, they can help you get where you're trying to go. Eight of Swords sits in the short-term future, facing some fears, facing some fundamental insecurities that you have, some things that you feel like really hold you back in life. What are things you tell yourself that keep you in a Four of Cups kind of status of like, man, it never happens for me, or like, man, I guess I'm just not worth it, or I'm just not good enough, or they just can't see it. What kind of thoughts and thought patterns keep you there? Do you tell yourself you're not as good as other people? Do you tell yourself you are as good as other people, but they don't see it? Whatever. What stories are you telling yourself? And how many of those stories were passed down to you and you continue to repeat them without even necessarily realizing it? Those are things you want to pull out. Pull out and bring into your boat. Six of Swords. I no longer need to let this hold me back. I need to keep it here right where I can see it, because it reminds me, stop underestimating yourself, or you are not your parent, or you are not born to please other people. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I can't create this thing or say this thing or do this lifestyle choice or whatever because it's really going to offend my parents or whatever. And it's like, oh, do I live to please my parents? No, I live to be myself. So whoop, I'm going to pull that sword out that was previously holding me back and hurting me every time I wanted to move towards something that felt like me. I'm going to remove that sword and let it become part of, my compass. Let it point me toward what I want instead of keep me away from it. Does that make sense? Fill me in, Pisces, please. Always fill me in. I'm always really curious. Long-term future, Six of Cups. You have the Six of Cups and you have the Six of Swords. These sixes are about flow and equilibrium and like renewal. Like what Spirit is showing me is dry, cracked land that has a creek trickle into it, and slowly like it fills, it heals, and then it becomes green and verdant and healthy. So it feels like, wow, I hadn't even thought about it truly, but if you look a little closer at the photo of the Eight of Swords, it's like, yeah, that's exactly the kind of dry, craggy, cracked land that Spirit is showing me in my mind. So there it is, right there in front of us. Six of Cups. Allow yourself to be supported. Allow yourself to have fun. There are certain people that when you're around them, they remind you of the best parts of yourself or the parts of you and life that you enjoy the most. Some of you are having reunions with those people, or it's just time for a catch-up call. Like, ugh, I miss you. Thank you for reminding me who the fuck I am. You know what I mean? I especially like to see the Six of Cups in your long-term future when the Four of Cups is sitting in the present, of like not necessarily feeling enriched, appreciated, connected with. Well, Six of Cups promises a resurgence of connection, but it starts with you connecting with yourself. And don't be surprised at all when, as you connect with yourself more deeply and you take your hermit retreat and you come to your judgment conclusions and epiphanies and you start acting the way that you want to be. Because again, you are what you do. You're going to experience this resurgence of love. You're going to start seeing your internal world where you're treating yourself more kindly and more lovingly and kind of like holding yourself to the principles and the values that you really care about. You're going to see the world respond to you in kind. Pun intended. What do you think, Pisces? Let me know, please. Like I said, I'm always curious because you're doing these readings, the story comes through, but it's like the story plays out so many different ways with different people. So I'm always curious for those of you generous enough to share how this plays out for you. I appreciate your time, Pisces. Sending you much love and many blessings until our next reading in October. Till then, bye-bye.